Hello, members of the Pinecrest Academy community. It is wonderful to be sitting here in front of you today. As you can see, you've got several administrators with you today. We are here to talk to you a little bit about our curriculum planning. As you know, our priority this past school year was to open the doors for in-person instruction, and we have been managing that through this whole entire pandemic. But as a side note, we wanted to share with you some of the great things that have been going on with our curriculum development. One of our priorities last year was to hire a specific faculty person dedicated to nothing but curriculum improvement. And that is how Laura Kelley, who you see on the screen before you, moved from the classroom over into curriculum development. That is her specialty. She actually has her master's degree in this area, and she has been working up some amazing things behind the scenes, and it is time to share them with you. So without further ado, Laura, would you let us know what's going on in the world of curriculum development at Pinecrest Academy?
Absolutely. You know, all the schools of excellence are always involved in a 5-year cycle where they're evaluating their curriculum, 1 or 2 subjects at a time. And this curricular review is undertaken not because there's issues or holes or concerns with the curriculum, but because it's a commitment to continuous improvement. And so for us at Pinecrest, this curricular review is simply fidelity to our motto of Semper Altius, always higher. Just like we ask our kids to live it in the classrooms, we're also living that as an administration. So our curriculum review process at Pinecrest is above anything else mission driven, because our curriculum answers that really, really fundamental question of how do we transmit and how do we form Christian leaders in our academic classrooms every single day. So when you're looking at reviewing or assessing a curriculum, and you're doing that one subject at a time, there's kind of 3 areas that we look at. And the first is vertical alignment. We look from pre-K all the way through 12th grade for a logical sort of sequence of content that's without gaps or unnecessary repetition. And then we sort of look at a horizontal coherence, making sure that if we've got 2 4th grade teachers both teaching the same math class, that there's a coherence in their content, their expectations, their assessments. And then we look at what's called interdisciplinary coherence. And that's really making sure, for example, that students have the prerequisites in math that they need to apply the skills that they're learning in science. And so the result of looking at these 3 areas of mapping is an enhanced, strategically realigned curriculum, but never is it a new curriculum. Now at Pinecrest, we're aligning actually 2 sets of academic standards within our one curriculum. The first is the Georgia Performance Standards, or the Standards of Excellence. Those are the standards that give us what's taught, the content, and also the skills that need to be taught in order for students to use their knowledge. The Georgia standards are responsible for telling us what we teach in the classroom. But we're a Catholic school, and so the Georgia standards alone by themselves are not sufficient. Because we're a Regnum Christi school under the direction of the Legionaries of Christ, we have a unique focus and mission. So in addition to the Georgia standards, we embrace and transmit a series of international standards found in all Regnum Christi schools across the world. The Georgia standards might tell us what to teach, but it's the Regnum Christi standards that tell us how to teach it and why we teach it. The Regnum Christi standards are the ones that distinguish us from other schools, help us to form our students to understand a Christian worldview of society that's really grounded in Catholic social teaching. And it enables us to fulfill our mission of helping to form Christian leaders for a new and growing global society. This year, we've been focusing on math, and we assessed our math curriculum against mastery of 21st century skills, beginning with pre-K going all the way through to the highest math class that we teach. And we found that we wanted to place a more strategic focus on 2 things. The first was critical thinking, and the second was application of knowledge to real world problems. So then we took a look at the curricular resources, the textbooks, and the other materials that we're currently using in our classrooms. And we came to the conclusion that we needed to make a change in our textbook series in our K through 6th grades. Saxon Math has served us well for many, many years. But we've identified 2 other math series that are going to help us to put that focus on critical thinking and on real-world application. We want our students to be able to take higher level math classes as they advance into the high school and into college. And that comes from understanding math concepts very deeply and thinking really critically about them. We also wanted to find a math series that would provide more resources to our teachers so that they're better able to differentiate their teaching. We want them to be able to assist those students who need remediation and at the same time provide enrichment for those students who are ready to go ahead, all within the same class. So we needed to find a textbook series that's really going to give them those resources. We're in the process of evaluating and choosing from 2 different math series, and we're also in the process of designing some professional development for our teachers so that they can really get up to speed with these new curricular resources before they leave for this summer, because we want them to be able to hit the ground running when we come back to school in the fall. Next year, we're going to continue to monitor math, and as this enhanced curricular map is lived out, so that we can support our teachers and continue making adjustments where we feel is necessary. You're going to hear more from your deans and principals as we continue on this path of self-assessment and curriculum mapping in each of the different subject areas. And I really encourage you to reach out to the deans and principals of the schools with more specific questions about a course, a grade level, any questions that are very specific to your student. I want to thank you, though, for allowing me to update you on this. This is a project I'm very, very passionate about, and I know that it is going to really help us focus on ensuring that our curriculum is providing our students with the excellence in Catholic education inside and outside of our classrooms.
Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. We really appreciate all the hard work that you've done behind the scenes this past year. And as she said, we've been focusing heavily on math, and we do have some meetings set up with some of the publishers, and we will be in our newsletters coming up, in our pre-K through 8 newsletter, we'll be providing a little bit more detailed information as we kind of start to narrow down a decision. But we're really excited about this, as we are with looking at all of our curriculum and making the changes that make sense to help our students succeed.
Right. Amy, could you add anything in terms of the high school?
Yes, I just think it's exciting that we're all here together working on this at the same time, because we have pre-K all the way through 12th grade. And even though some of these new resources are going to be targeted at the K through 6 specifically, the high school has been included all along in the discussion, because we're ultimately that end product, that end game of where they're trying to get to. So we've had some really great collaboration this year at aligning, particularly at our gaps between 5th and 6th and between 8th and 9th. And I think that it's going to make for a really strong academic future for Pinecrest. And so again, I just want to echo with what Mr. Forty said, how appreciative we are for all this behind the scenes work that Laura's been doing, because it's really going to help make our jobs a lot easier and better.
Thank you so much. Carter, anything from the middle school before we close up?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the middle school for nearly a decade, and have felt the tug of war, to the high school and to the lower school based on what we should be doing. And I think we've had pockets of greatness throughout pre-K through 12. But like Amy was saying, there's nothing that compares to the feeling of finally having pre-K through 12, sitting in on a decision and coming to a decision together. I'm looking forward to it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you, Laura Kelley, for all your work this past year. We look forward to seeing all the next steps, whether it's history or English, we're looking forward to all of the marvelous work you're going to do in curriculum development. Thank you so much. Parents, if you have any further questions, please be in touch with your academic deans or your principals. Hope you have a wonderful afternoon. God bless everyone. Bye.